Hey, we are back again. So I am very excited to kind of jump into this week. A lot has happened, even though it has only been, 2 weeks. And the reason why, of course, I skipped last week was because of the holiday. I wanted to be respectful of, people's beliefs and that sort of thing. So that's why last week was skipped. But I am stoked about like this week and just kind of going through and talking about each one. This is going to get really interesting and really fun because I have managed to score myself a mentor. Slow clap. So I'm super excited. That was one of the things that was on my dream board to do for this year. So I am super excited to kind of implement those things, test them, and then be able to show or talk about them in the episode so that you too can get some of this super helpful information. So if you are new to my channel, it's just me. I do basically some forecasting for day traders, intraday, and swing traders. So if that is your forte, this is probably the place for you. It's also a page where we are just staying open and staying normal like humans and trading, and just kind of going over what's going to happen or my analysis for the week. And as always, as I tell you before, mine is just kind of a small staple. You always want to do your own analysis. That's going to be the only way that you're going to be able to become confident in your trading. So yes, if you're new, welcome. If you're old, like the OGs, I so appreciate you being here. So let's just go ahead and get started. So, as always, I'm going to start with AU, and unfortunately today I'm only going to go through the 4 pairs, and the reason for that is because I had discussed with my mentor that, shout out to Jason, that we should probably stick to the 4 that I'm actually working on. I don't want to continue to do gold until I'm actually working in gold or trading in gold. So until then, let's just work with the 4 that we got. Let me know in the comments if you hate it. And that's okay. Either way, we'll get back to it for sure. So let's just jump in, starting on the weekly. So I'm actually going to move this little guy over here just so we can get a slightly more clear view on what we're doing. All right. So we've seen a lot of rejection. First of all, can we see what's happening here? I see Marabozal. Am I saying that? I hope so. Marabozal candle. Even though it's like not as teeny tiny, it's still considered as Marabozal because the wick is still between the body and the wick. This whole candle is engulfed, so it's like an engulfing candle. It's still in there. So with a Marabozal, that usually means you'll see a reversal. So what I'm looking at, like I'm kind of looking based on that, I'm looking at these wicks, right? And these wicks are wicking pretty bad to the upside. And there is a little bit of room for price to move to the downside on AU. So I will be looking to see right now, of course, it looks like we're headed in the upward direction. Let me go ahead and get out. I'm going to jump in and jump out just so that we can get a wider screen. Go to the daily real quick. Pop out real quick. So we could possibly see a little bit of consolidation until we know. Again, this is on the daily, so you can still kind of collect some pips. I don't know if I will be waiting that long because, like I said, I am using the daily for direction determination, 4 hour, the 4 hour for confluence, 4 hour and 1 hour for confluence, and then the 15-minute for execution. So I may not be abiding by that too crazy because, as you know, it could take some time for it to actually do this back and forth thing, and we still want to be able to trade in the meantime. So let me jump out real quick. Let's go to the 4 hour. All right, now I feel like we got a little bit of we got a little bit of juice. Let me go back. Okay, this looks good. Okay, so let me squeeze up a little bit so we can see what's going on. Okay, so as of right now, being that it's a little bit below This looks a little funky where I have this at. We may change this. It looks like it almost belongs, like it should be sitting at about right there. So we'll just drag it, not a problem. So now I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen when price gets here, because essentially what it looks like here is just a retest, probably based upon previous price action. So I'm going to be waiting. This is actually a perfect place to get in. If you're planning on getting in on AU, this is the perfect place to get in on if you're willing to hold it for, you know, a portion of the day. I wouldn't say necessarily like a scalper, but if you're willing to hold this for a portion of the day, I think we could possibly see price get at least back down to here. Of course, it's a probability game and we're not sure. Price could continue up and then keep retesting this area, and then we'll just wait to see once it gets to this area to retest. Will it be a break through a retest, and then we can take off and go ahead up. We'll just continue to keep rejecting at this area, and then we'll possibly see it come back, possibly come back down to here, which is where price was previously at. So let's see. Let me jump out one more time and move to the 1 hour. Okay, let's see. Let me squeeze it up a little bit. Let me get out. All right. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say at this time. I don't even see the purple. And you know what's funny? It's weird on Forex.com. Anyway, that's fine. So I'm kind of seeing like an area right here, right up in this area where it's slightly rejected. So I'm kind of wondering, is price going to be rejecting and maybe retesting at this area? And then we could possibly see price potentially get to here. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me exit one more time. I apologize. Let me get some of my boxes here. I'm wondering, grab this guy, and then I want to grab this guy, just to get an idea. And then I'm wanting to see, let's get a ray. I'm waiting to see if this will be take profit 1. This will be take profit 2 in this area. And then we'll look to see if this will be possibly take profit 3 right up in here. Perfect. Okay, so those will be like our take profits that we'll be looking to for price to possibly get at, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if we'll be able to get past here. Of course, we're just probability game. We're just waiting to see exactly what's going to happen. It's always super helpful, and this is something that I kind of noticed. You can overanalyze. Like, don't be out here looking for a trade when there's nothing available. So don't do that to yourself. You can make yourself very, very confused. So you don't want to do that. But based on where prices previously kind of been at, I do believe we're still in the bearish direction. So more than likely, I'll be looking to take a bullish position this upcoming week. I just have to wait for the best opportunity, and I do believe. Let me go back. Best opportunity is actually now. Stop loss would be like right above here, just slightly right above where price was previously at, and then I would just write it down. Of course, always manage your risk, always super important. Okay, so let's go ahead and scoot over to EU. I'm gonna have to change my time frame because I was analyzing earlier. Let's change it over to a weekly, and I'm just gonna keep it on this screen. It seems a little easier to kind of do back and forth. I think this was last week's notes. I apologize. Okay, so right now we're actually looking at a good place where price is like previously kind of peaked at, and because we're on the weekly, it's just gonna look like a pretend like it's just starting to break through. But if we scroll down to the 1, we can see that kind of retest. So this is actually looking pretty good if you're looking to move a little bit. Get rid of this guy. Move a little bit on EU. Let me in order for me to see a bigger view, let me go to the weekly one more time real quick. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering what's happening here. Let's circle it. Okay, there we go. So let's see. Let's go down to the daily and see what that looks like. And we've already kind of passed it. All right, ignore that. I do apologize. Let's go back. this is what happens. You have to be, you know, you have to do a little bit of back and forth when you're analyzing. And funny enough, I kind of didn't really analyze as much as I usually do prior before getting on here. I just kind of wanted to do a real joint with you. Okay, so I would be looking, now that price is kind of peaking above here, we're already in a space of having that retest. I'm looking at where price was previously at, so I'm going to make a little bit of a mark over here just so I can kind of see, because it's harder to see when you're on a smaller time frame. And I'm going to put this here. Actually, you know what? Let's take that off. Let's do horizontal ray. And we're going to snag that and put that there. This would be take profit 1, take profit 2, looks like 3, and we'll have to wait and see if price can get here. This would be 4 and possibly even 5. So let's get out of the weekly. I just needed to make some marks so I can see exactly where I'm at. Oof, that looks wild. Let's see. And just so that this is not confusing you, I'm going to take this off as well as this. Look at all this stuff down here. Wow. Okay. Try not to look at that. It'll take me forever and the video will be crazy long if I try to delete it. So let's just take a peek and see. Okay, good. This looks great. So let's see. Let me squeeze up here just a little bit. And this is on the 4 hour. This looks like this is going to be a really good opportunity. Like really good. We could see this rally humongous. And I didn't check to see if there's going to be crazy news this week because we're on what, the 15th, 14th, 15th, 16th, sorry. We're on the 16th. So I'm not expecting too much crazy news, but I didn't check. So I don't know. Don't take my word. Anyway, go to Forex Factory to check your news. So as of where price is at right now, this looks really, really good. I would set my stop loss just below this zone and then take profit. Well, shoot. I mean, I feel like take profit 1 may be a little closer than what I've actually set it at. And that's just because I was looking at it on a weekly view. Because this could take a full couple of days to get up here. Excuse me, to get up here. So we may have to go back to see where the first take profit is. It may have to be, you know, it may be a little bit closer to in this range or something like that. But this is something that I have my eye on big time. This looks great. So take profit just below here, or excuse me, stop loss just below here, take profit somewhere up in here. I'm going to assume this one, but I'll have to go back and double check because we aren't going to be using it based on the weekly. Let me double check real quick on the hourly and then we'll scoot over to GU. No, this looks amazing. This looks really, really good. Granted, we'll have to see if price starts acting up when it gets to this area again, but I'm confident that this could be really good to the upside this week. All right, let's shoot over to GU real quick. Just try to make it. Sorry, guys. I know I have this previous notes on here from last time. Shit, I need to start like doing this before. Okay, we're gonna just leave that piece because I kind of like that. Let's move on. Okay, so what we have. This is like ace. Okay. Was a little bit of consolidation here. We got a little bit of a breakout. Now we're starting to get a little bit of a rejection. So let me scoot down to the daily. Ooh. So now that we're starting to what appears to come down to retest on the daily, this is actually looking pretty good to the upside too. I wonder, oh my God, I can't believe I just got rid of that. Let me go back. I wonder if it's gonna be running unison to EU. You know how they tend to kind of favor each other sometimes. So I'm kind of wondering if we're gonna see that. Let me scoot down. Let's take a look. Ooh, this is looking good. So last week, or excuse me, this was actually over the last couple weeks. This was in March. We were seeing some lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But then we started to kind of tap out and kind of start going sideways, or higher high, I'm sorry. Lower high and higher high. So I'm wondering, looking at price now, we may see some consolidation actually. Let me go back one more time to the daily. Because honestly, looking at the daily, this looks to be a possible retest. So if we see or continue to see some rejection here, then we could see it kind of rallying up, kind of like EU. Of course, this takes time. We gotta be patient. We have to see, but it's always better to go to the higher time frame to see exactly what is happening. I'm gonna jump back one more time to the weekly. Yeah, this is looking. It's looking good, but I'm not 100% convinced. I still need some other type of confirmation. So I'll probably be looking at the Hakanashi chart just to get some confirmation, and I may put an EMA on my chart this week just so that I can get that extra confirmation of what price is getting ready to do before I actually go ahead and put myself in a position. Because on the 4 hour, even though we go based upon the higher time frame, I still want to be cognizant of the budget that I've set for myself. And if my budget is, I have a lower budget, this could potentially come down and take me out before it actually comes up, just depending upon what I've set my risk to be. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. Let's check down one more time to the 1 hour and see what that looks like. Challenging to say. We're just going to have to wait. I see a little bit of consolidation even on the 1 hour. So this one is just going to be a waiting out kind of thing to see exactly what price is going to be doing. Because if you were looking at this, you would swear up and down that this is actually just going up for a retest here. And then we're potentially seeing price get to here and then looking to see exactly what's going to happen. So if you are a day trader, you could still potentially catch some pips. We're just going to have to see. I want to see if price is going to break out of here. So it would probably even be helpful to add a breakout box, even though this is on the hourly. And then see what happens exactly when price is able to break out now. Should price decide it's going to go down, stop loss should be sitting right above here. Take profit should be right here at the last low. Perfect. So we'll just have to see. Time will tell, because on the higher time frames, I'm a little leery of making a decision just yet. I need to see what price is going to do first before I decide to make any kind of move on GU. So last but not least, let's jump over to UJ. UJ it's actually not doing too bad. It looks like it could potentially be rallying up. We may see a little bit of a retest in this area. Let me jump out to the weekly because we are starting on the weekly. My mistake. On the weekly, we could see price get to here. I wonder if that's what I was picking at on that 4 hour. We could get some pips to here. We probably won't get too much further than here, but and maybe see some consolidation. Right now I'm seeing in a bullish direction. Let's go over to 1. Yeah, like easily I could see a channel here. Let me grab I can see a channel here. Can you see it? Okay. Okay, so yeah, I mean, let's see what price has got in store. I do believe we could potentially see price getting here, and I'm watching it bounce back and forth. Unless there's some like huge news that'll kind of take us past here, where we could see a break, retest, and then start rallying up on the go. I would be looking to see what's going to happen. Maybe taking a position, waiting for the retest, which looks like, because we finished like this last week, we could possibly see another red candle to kind of bring us down, getting that retest in, and then heading back up. But then I would probably get out right here, unless there's some type of economic news that is going to impact the fact that it'll continue. But let's scoot over, as always, to the 4. Wow. To the 4 hour. This actually looks pretty good. So I want to point this out too. Often if you're going to make a channel, kind of like what I did with these 2 blue lines, that will hold as support and resistance also. So if you're using like zones as support and resistance, you can use channels as support and resistance too. And hopefully it'll stay in that zone, or usually what happens is it'll stay in that channel and just kind of ride up. So I'm hoping that that'll be a really good example to show you kind of how channels work. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen with price. I am kind of actually liking how it ended last week. So let's jump over. This looks like a strong retest, so that's pretty good. Now we'll just have to see if price is going to continue in the channel. Let me double check one more time real quickly here on the 15th. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm really excited to see what this is going to turn out to be. I do feel like the channel could hold, kind of like as it has been. It's been kind of ducking in and out of it. I could probably make my lines a little more straight, kind of almost like a trend line, but a channel. But this one looks pretty good too. Overall, I think I have my eye on EU, GU, and possibly UJ as of right now. So that is it. I am going to cap it before I make this video too crazy long. I will go ahead and add in the time codes for you to make it a little easier depending upon which ones you're trading. I super hope this was helpful, and just know that I am super thankful to have you, and hopefully I am doing my due diligence in my purpose in helping you by serving you. Hopefully this was helpful. Get after it.